Angelo, thank you for taking the time early on a Monday morning to come in here and do this podcast.
Thank you, bro.
Man, off the podcast, what I was saying to you basically is that I admire your work because we just got through shooting a video, you know, and I didn't have a clue what you're doing, and I was getting all in your way, trying to tell because you shot the intro it's a new intro that's coming up for this podcast.
Yes.
And I was getting all in your way, telling them, you know, I can handle it. And you were being really cool. You didn't say a thing. Then I saw the video and I went, oh man,
No problem.
I said, no. I will never do that. I really apologize.
Thank you to you too.
I'm apologizing to you on the podcast. That was so good. You know, the way you added the music and everything to it is fantastic. Wow. So tell me a little bit. My intro was long this time, but tell me a little bit about yourself. Where were you born?
I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
And my mom and my dad my mom was from Puerto Rico, half black, half American, and my dad was from Jamaica. And they met in New York, and I was born to a family of 7, I think, 5 kids, 2 parents, and I'm the middle child. So Brooklyn, New York, the heart of the ghetto.
Right. You know. And you grew up. That's where you grew up.
I grew up on Franklin Avenue.
Okay.
On Franklin Avenue between Easton, I think Franklin and Lincoln place. Very tough area. You know.
Okay. And you lived there till what age?
I lived there until I think I was about like 8 years old, and I think we got kicked out of the apartment or something happened, and we got kicked out and we moved to a different part of Brooklyn, which was another area in itself, another disaster in itself, and we got kicked out. We moved to a shelter.
But your mom and dad weren't together.
They were together. My mom and my dad were together, but my dad was basically in and out of like the criminal system, so it was kind of, he was there but he was not there. So
all these your 7 siblings, of them, they're not all from the same mom and dad.
Same mom and same dad. Same mom, same dad.
For all 7 kids.
Yes, all 5 kids. All
5 of you. Okay.
Yeah.
And then your dad was in and out of prison system. Okay.
So basically, my mom had to take up the responsibility of being the mom and the pops. You know, she worked 2 jobs, and she really struggled all her life just to make sure that we were out of trouble. We had food on the table and things like that. So I really respect her as a person.
Yeah. What about your dad? Is he still around?
My dad, they're both deceased, actually.
They did?
They're both deceased. They died like, my mom died like at 51, and my dad died like 55. You know.
How old were you when this was happening?
When I was around 14, the situation was, when I was around 14, the last time I saw my dad he was like, hey, Angelo, let's go fishing. And I was like, no, I don't want to go fishing. I want to go play with my friends. Long story short, something happened and he got detained because they were not really married. They were just living together. And he got detained and he got deported back to Jamaica. Well, before Jamaica, Florida, and then Florida to Jamaica. So he lived.
You can get deported from the United States to Jamaica?
Yeah, because that's where he didn't have any green card.
But then, you mean Jamaicans, that's a U.S. territory, right?
It's not.
It isn't?
It isn't. It's not.
What is?
Jamaica is Jamaica.
Really? So you have to, people from, I'm learning something new. Because when I was in Puerto Rico, I used to go to the Virgin Islands.
Yes.
St. Croix, St. Kitts, and everything else. Yeah. And I thought that's all territory. Same thing for Puerto Ricans?
Puerto Rican is American territory.
That's but Jamaica
is totally different. Yeah.
What about the Virgin Islands?
Virgin Islands is American.
That's all American?
Yes, American.
Because I used to go to St. Croix, St. Kitts, St. Martin.
Yes.
Okay, so I thought Jamaica was all a part of that, and it isn't.
Yeah. So when I was 14, he was gone. And then my mom was like really by herself. She just waited for him. She didn't know where he was. And then one day we got a call, maybe many years later, that he's in Jamaica. And so she just waited for him. Like, she never dated, she never went out. She just waited for her only true love. And that made me respect her as a woman because she wasn't out in the streets and she wasn't drinking and smoking and things like that. So she just waited only for him. And then when she found out he was in Jamaica, I was here in Tokyo.
Whoa. Okay,
I was 24.
All right, let's slow down just a little bit. Okay, now who's above you? Who's above you? Wait.
I have my older brother.
The oldest is his brother. How many years between you and him?
He's 46, so that's about 46 or 48, 47. Okay. He's about 7 years older than me.
Okay, and then after him's a sister?
My sister.
Right.
Okay, and she's 1 year older than me, so she's 41.
All right, where are they living?
They're living in New York City.
New York City. Okay, and then below you
below me is my younger sister. My younger sister, who is maybe 1985. I don't know how old is that. Maybe 36.
Okay.
And then my younger sister's 30.
All right, right. Are you close with all your siblings?
I'm pretty much close to everyone. Yeah.
You guys ever get together and stuff like that? Or?
We just talk on the phone. FaceTime has made everything more,
Tell me, it's so easy, so you don't really have to be there anymore.
Yes.
Are your two younger sisters also in New York too?
Yes, they're all in New York right now.
You're the only one that's out?
I'm the only one that's here. I wish I had some tissue.
Okay, let me get you. I don't have
okay, it's okay. Yeah.
It's okay. Now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What made you decide to come to Japan then? Were you ever in the service?
No, I've never was in a service.
Okay.
I was a Boy Scout, and we had often visit West Point and things like that.
They tried to get you in.
Yeah. It's like Boy Scout, West Point.
Right.
It was very interesting, but I never wanted to join. You know, so I was always very active as a child. You know, I never really wanted to stay on the block or play basketball. I always wanted to move around and find ways and means of how to survive and how to make money. So I was working, selling T-shirts. I was doing production assistance for a number of.
This is in the States.
All in the States.
Okay.
I was selling T-shirts, doing production. I was also a street hustler. I did everything just to survive and help my mom cover some of those bills.
But what about your brother and your sisters?
At the time, my sister ran away from the house. She jumped from
the oldest one.
The oldest sister. She ran away from the house. She jumped from a 3-story building just to be with her boyfriend. Got pregnant at 14 years old.
Okay. She didn't die.
She was gone out. She was out of the picture.
Okay.
My brother was trying to find himself. He was living with his girlfriend.
Because only 2 boys in the family.
Yeah. And he was trying to find himself doing whatever he does, trying to survive. And then it was me and my younger sister and my younger sister. So, and then my mom trying to take care.
So really, you were the only man in the house.
Basically, yes, basically.
So she really depended on you.
Yes.
Everything. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Were you around her when she passed? I know it's a hard question, but.
Well, when she passed away, I was living here in Japan. I was working in Azubujuban at a school called Koper International.
Right. We can put that in there.
Yeah. And I was also beginning my television, debut, break, and things like that situation.
You mean here in Japan?
In Japan.
Okay.
In Japan. It was like when I started to really become more on television. And she had cancer. She developed breast cancer.
Okay.
And then after going to the hospital, after her surgery, it never properly healed.
I got you.
And it just got worse, and it smelled bad, and it just lingered on for 2 years, and then she was on chemotherapy. And then finally, I got the call from my sister, she's dead. Okay, so what do we do now?
Right.
I tell my boss, I got to take off. 3 days. He gave me 3 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got to be back to work on Monday. So
if you want to keep the job.
If you want to keep your job,
right.
Which is very important for my family, my situation. So Friday, fly to America. Saturday, bury my mom. Sunday, coming back to Japan.
That had to be hard, man.
It was so tough. It took me 2 years to cry.
You know what I mean?
2 years, I didn't cry.
Isn't that interesting? Because you didn't have time to.
I didn't have time to, and I didn't understand what death is and what death was, And
never coming back again.
It just never coming back, and it just.
And how many times did you try to almost call her and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you realize she's not there.
Yeah. Just one day I just woke up in the middle of the night and it's like, Mom is not here. Mom's not here. And I was like,
And you it just took you.
Yeah.
It got to you. You have all those big ones.
It's
not coming at your nose. It's not coming at your nose and everything. You just think about it. All this stuff just rushes to your mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But
I was like that when my father passed. It took me a year.
Yeah.
I wasn't like you. It took me 1 year.
Yeah. 2 years. 2 years. 2 years.
And I bet you it was close to the time that she died too.
Yeah. So whenever they ask me to cry on television,
you think about it.
I think about it. It's the easy way. Easy way. Yeah.
Wow. So how old were you? How old were you when you came to Japan?
I was I was 20 years old.
20 years old.
20
And
years
why did you come to Japan?
Well, I came to Japan because basically I was involved in so many different activities, and then one of the activities that I was involved in got me arrested. I was arrested, and while I was sitting in the jail cell or in the holdings, it's like, this is not worth it. I'm better than this. And I had one female friend who lived in Japan, so I called her up as soon as I got out and said, "Hey, do you mind if I come over and live with you in Japan?" And she said, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So I took my last $730. So basically the plane ticket was $700. So I had the equivalent of $30 when I arrived in Tokyo with a box of donuts because she requested Dunkin' Donuts.
And they allowed you to bring those on the plane?
Yeah.
And take them through? Okay.
She said, "I want some Dunkin' Donuts. Make sure you bring some Dunkin' Donuts."
How did you meet? Can I ask how you met her?
We met in an art gallery in New York.
In New York.
A Japanese girl. She was into like art, and she was like kind of a street girl. So that's how we related.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that, but
now they do.
Now they do. It's too late now.
All right.
So, wind up moving with her in Japan, 20 years old. Very jealous girl.
Okay. You don't have to go any further.
No, it's a very jealous girl. This is very interesting. It's very part.
Okay.
Very interesting.
You want to tell it? Okay.
Right. Very, very jealous girl. My first Japanese words that I say to a waitress while we were at a restaurant. It's like, "Konnichiwa," that's the first Japanese word I said to the waitress. She didn't get angry at the time, but while we were driving home, we were driving in her car, she started speeding up. She sped up so fast that the car almost crashed and we almost died in the car crash.
You had a car crash?
Yes. The car spinned around 3 times. Bam! The wheel flies off, and she looks at me, and she says to me, "Why you didn't scream?"
Was she screaming the whole time?
Yeah, she's like, "Ah!" She looks at me, "Why you didn't scream?" And I said, "That's the best thing you can say." Her father comes up. It says, "You foreigner, gaikokujin, I'll kill you, and get the hell out of my house."
But you're living in his home?
Yes.
But he knew you. He knew you were there.
Yeah, he knew.
So he knew and everything. But then he just said, "Okay, that was it," because he blamed you for her.
Yeah, get out. So that's when I took the longest walk of my life. It was from Chiba, someplace in Chiba.
Oh, you were living in Chiba
at the time.
Okay.
And someplace in Chiba, and walking to the Central Chiba bus station to head to Tokyo.
What were your plans?
I didn't have any plans. Just keep the faith.
Okay.
No plans.
Keep the faith. Okay.
Keep the faith.
Did your mother raise you to be very religious?
To a certain extent.
Okay. But she didn't really. That wasn't something she did.
Just believe. Just believe.
Just believe. Yeah. Know there's something more than you.
Yes. Just keep the faith. Keep believing. Think positive, and things will happen.
All right.
So, from that station to the bus station, walking early in the morning, pitch dark at nighttime, no bread in the pocket, and
nothing.
Just enough to get that bus fare.
Okay.
To go back to Tokyo, and then that's when I got to Tokyo and walked from Tokyo Station basically to Ueno, looking for jobs.
Okay.
I walked into every building. Do you have any jobs? I was very fit at the time. I went to boxing rings. I'll sweep the floor for a job.
Right.
So.
And you found something eventually.
Eventually, I made it to Ueno Station.
Okay.
And I met a guy who was handing out flyers. And then that guy said, if you really want a job, you got to go to Roppongi. Mm-hmm. And he asked me, a Japanese guy, he's like, are you hungry? And then that was the first time I ate at Coco's restaurant.
Yes, Coco's. Okay.
And he gave me a plate of food, and he gave me senyen, and he said to me, I want you to get on this train. And it was the JR train. And it was the Ueno station. He said, get on this train and get off at Ebisu.
Okay.
In my mind, I heard ABC.
ABC.
ABC,
Right, okay.
like the alphabet.
Okay, that's what you heard. Okay.
So I'm on the train. I'm riding around and around.
Looking for ABC.
ABC. I'm riding around maybe 2, 3, 4 times. There's no station called ABC. And then I was just like, and then the stop ABC was there, and it said ABC, ABC.
And then it sounded the same as
Yes.
you sounded, and you said, this must be it.
Yes, and I got off.
Okay.
And got to Roppongi.
Wow.
Yeah. From there. Yeah. Crazy.
That's fantastic.
I read it.
And once you got to Roppongi, then you started getting some money, and you started.
When I got to Roppongi, I asked everybody on the street for a job.
Okay.
Same thing. Jobs. I went to Gas Panic. I went to all these different clubs. I went to Club Zion. There was a club called Club Zion. It was a Jamaican club. Yeah, sure, man. You can get a job. You know. I go out. I hand out flyers. I'm used to handing out flyers because I'm a good salesman. I love sales. And he pays me in jerk chicken for the first night.
Did you continue to the next?
No way.
Okay, so
right after I ate the jerk chicken, I went to another club.
Okay.
And I said, "Can I please have a job?" That was a Club Nature at the time, Frank's club.
Right.
And then I worked for Frank under the books. He paid me, and I cleaned the club. I sold CDs. I sold jackets.
You did whatever.
I did everything to survive.
Right.
So after that, I was getting paid $80.
You mean so? How big again?
Hassan.
That's
$80, about 80.
80. You said $80. I thought you said $8. Okay.
$80.
Okay.
Hassan per night.
But where were you staying each night? You had someone. I won't ask that.
I had no place to stay.
So were you staying out in the park or something?
I was staying in Starbucks. Yeah.
Just until the next morning. You just
so
doze off.
Nighttime. I would work at the club.
Right.
And then in the morning time when the club's closed, I would go to Starbucks and I would get like a coffee and a green tea and a banana. And I would just do that process for like 2 months.
Okay.
And one day I felt really bad. Some random guy came up to me. He said, "Man, I know you, man. You always get a tea and a banana and you sleep right there."
This Japanese guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't have any place. I didn't know about the futos, the baths. Okay. So I would just take a shower in the bathroom of Starbucks.
I got you. Yeah.
Yes, in Roppongi.
Right.
You know, so I did that. You know, I would buy.
What about you? But what kind of? How were you staying in Japan?
I had a tourist visa.
Okay, so that only lasts for so long.
That was 3 months.
3 months.
Yes.
So this is all within the 3 month period?
Yes, that was in a 3 months period. Yes.
So how did you how did you extend it? How did you end up?
So what happened is that at the time I was staying in Starbucks. One of the associates that I knew from the club, working in the club, told me that there was a female who works in the morning, and her schedule and my schedule would be good for me to live there. You know, because she works during the daytime. Right.
And she wouldn't mind.
And I could stay at her place during the day, and then at night when she comes home, I will go to work.
Right.
Yes.
And you were able to do that.
Yes.
How long did that last?
Oh, forever. Because that became my wife. Yes. So she allowed a stinky guy to come sleep in her house.
And then when you got married, then that took care of the visa thing and everything.
Yes. So I had to go back home for 3 months. And after I came back home to Japan for another 3 months, I was able to marry her. Yeah.
This is interesting because most of the people that I have on the podcast come with Expat Package. If they're foreigners, they're involved with this. But you're telling it from a whole different viewpoint. That's the other side that people never hear. My experience was not quite like that because when I came out of the service, I didn't have an Expat Package, but I did end up I was broke, had no money. I'd rather try to sell than to get something to eat because, put gas in the car than to eat because it was just, I had to make sure I made ends meet. That's interesting. That is very interesting what you went through. Okay, so when did you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and it wasn't a train? It was actually something nice.
Well, that's when I got into teaching English. Okay, so after that Roppongi situation, I'm done with Roppongi. I'm done with these people. I'm done with serving these people, trying to please these customers. And I got into English teaching. The first job I got in English teaching was at GABA.
Okay.
And I started working at GABA. And after GABA, I worked for a number of English schools, maybe 7 different English schools. And I got the skill of how to teach English, how to conduct lessons, how to prepare lessons. And I think I've almost mastered the skill of teaching English.
But you have your own setup now. But that's
now I
how
have my own school now.
That's how I first met you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Over at the Juban, and you were out there, and I said, another brother, okay, so hello, and you told me you were teaching a class right up here. And
So that's how.
Okay.
When Freeholders opened,
okay, that's when I used to go over there to get those burritos.
Burritos, that's where we
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, now how'd you get into the music business? Because that's where you're really flying. I mean, that's where I think you're going to hit that's your mother lode.
Well, I've always wanted to be, like the superstar entertainer. I've always wanted to be a superstar rapper and, live the life, fancy cars, the Rolls Royces and things like that.
Right.
But waiting for people to make music for me, waiting for people to produce videos for me, waiting for people to, collaborate with, just made me want to do it myself. So not having any skill to having a lot of skill now, because being sick and tired of waiting for people. So I learned how to make the music, I learned how to make the beats, learned how to write the songs, learned how to edit, learned how to shoot the videos, and learn how to make business out of shooting videos. And instead of waiting for people, this is the worst thing in the world, to wait for people to do something.
When you have it all inside already.
So I had to learn by myself. And that's what created this kind of, machine.
Wow.
So
that's excellent. Well, that brought you to the point to where we actually had a nice little barter, and it worked really well.
Yeah.
The barter worked together, and you're going to drop this video that you did. When's it going to come out?
It should probably come out next week. Or the August 22nd.
Can we link it to the bottom of this podcast?
Yes, please.
All right, so we'll do it once it drops.
Yes.
So for those people that are watching, it may not be when this podcast comes out, but keep on looking at it every now and then. You can see what Angelo did with that video. And my new introduction to the to this podcast was shot by Angelo as well. And in the music, one of the musics, because I also have some other music done too, but the music, the original is your stuff. It is fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Listen. I'm going to end with that, Angelo. I want to thank you so much. Anything you want to end with? I mean, we talked about jail. That scared me to death.
Sorry. I'm sorry
okay.
to being a reality. This is kind of reality.
Your reality, yeah.
It's kind of a lot of people see me and they think like, oh, I just wind up on TV. I'm on TV and they see me on TV shows.
And they don't know what you've been through.
They don't know what I've been through. They don't know. They can't. They just think it's all glitter and glamour.
Right.
They don't know, like, I've been through the worst and I've struggled and I'm still fighting, even though I'm like very successful. My mom didn't see all this. My mom didn't see me on TV.
She can't miss it.
And she didn't see me have schools and things. So she didn't know, and my dad didn't see me. So I'm still working hard to satisfy my parents. Right.
But now at least you're able to tread water and get your head up there and you get some air.
Far from it. I'm still working hard.
That's right. You're not there.
I'm not there.
You're not there.
More.
You want more.
More.
You know what Kevin Hart said? He's going to become a billionaire.
Wow.
He says he's working hard to become a billionaire too. I guess it's up to what you want. Your desire. Everybody has different goals and different things they're going for. So you'll get it.
So what I would just like to end is that if you work hard enough or smart enough or know the right people, you're able to accomplish your dreams faster. So just keep going forward, keep moving, and keep inspiring and keep encouraging yourself to be the best person you can be each day.
Thank you, Ramon.
Thank you, brother. Nice.
Nice. All of you watching this, make sure that you press like, subscribe, and never forget, it's all unknown. Keep reaching for the stars, and you're too blessed to be stressed.